Eclipse Usury. 4. The voiceless. You're alming this rainbow prophecy. You're forwarding this collective awakening. Here, now, this coming eclipse happening in the heavens now with the messenger of Poseidon only comes once every 33 years. Herein in the golden age is the decentralization in government order FUN, and as it was back in August 22nd 1042 years AD, the year originals in Turtle Island in the great northeast. You have an unparalleled and uncanny model upon which 5 nations in Turtle Island came into a great federation, including the Mohawkers, per the race of such a style to be the fashion of the day amongst the young ones, and the Oneida, the Ongonda, the Cayuga and the Seneca, of which Cloud 2 children was related, and then it was later on that other big nation did join in Tuscarora, which happened in the later part of the 1800s. 4. You to eclipse usury and be about the voice of the voiceless. You get on with alming this awakening, and the stories of the past of Degenwitter and Hayauthka and a great chief called Jiconsase, which means new face. This chief was called the Peace Queen, and for now in this moment that's such a new mind that is this happy face in the rainbow prophecy. This new nation is born as a federation of United Nation. So, if you look back in history, you can see where back then the Anglo-American idea of the governing of Turtle Island of this day was influenced, and it was the eclipse as it was back then the Iroquois Confederacy of the originals ideas that was forwarded came to be part of the United States of America Constitution. Albert Search was only written from the dead to represent the dead, or what was fictional and not the joining of the living with the living as this eclipse movement is about. Yet, back then as now it is this red path of common law, which is being brought back be ever more original as a confederation, as a united nation that spells fun. So, in talking further, the alm is a currency that you and I own in its creation. You and I are giving a standard of living of 11,000 alm per beloved on the earth. 4. Today there is no need for a centralized verification that lie through the senses, a lower order, yet, today you and I have .now, that this rainbow family is getting up where an alm is equivalent to $22, and a call is going out to all programmers so that the public ledger .now is created, a past of .com, which means commercial, and now is .now, which is this timeless moment, that is of a decentralization that puts the bank where perception is, where you can only be given your own account, and, as you can remember, it was a strange thing where 10 English colonies was stated as being totally unpractical in 1754 by Benjamin Franklin. Yet, Ben went on. You can hear Franklin say back then, for the original there is at this moment a 6 unbreakable nation amongst savages. It was an eclipse back then long before that moment that had blacked out what wasn't useful, and it was the colors red, white and black that were applied today as in the day, and the symbol of the eclipse be represented as a new face, as a new nation, as is brought about. The sun is rising in the west, and it is stated and foretold that a happy face would come in this day now from amongst you, and for this happy face, who is completely neutral, who is of the Mohawk tradition as the fashion is today, has given all a 1-year moratorium where government from the year 2018 to 2019 for an alm is being brought back to all being, because of a decentralized nature. So today you and I are building the biggest movement the world has ever seen, by, first, voting to eclipse usury, second, enacting a year moratorium, third, changing the body politic to reform banking, 4. A spec causing inflammation within your eye can have been removed, even as Jiconsase cleared away war back then and brought peace and assisted with this. You also now in this time of eclipse can clear away the least of difference. 4. What has separated all to one remain in a fictionalized occurrence. Your water only remain as a stranger to reality. 4. You can pay attention to this rainbow prophecy at this time, which is of diversity, just like on the farm having no separateness. So, obviously, a savage who is of no thinking is of new faces. This happy face inside you know you with this eye not dominated by any idea, even such as Eclipse.now, for such is neither conscious or unconscious. 4. Eclipse is like what's happening in the heavens. As unfolding what's coming up, you've been triggered to come aboard and been set up to be given an account. The alm is a new currency. So, as in the past as now, as you and I have eclipse usury, we've recovered a parent-child heaven over the lands, where you're easy able to uphold your original right for resources, can be applied for perception rather than what's fictional. Find out more and get involved. Be part of this eclipse movement in this day. The rainbow prophecy is writing itself out as the sun is rising in the west here, having room and this is called you and I having compassion, and this is the happy face inside communing together, as a public ledger. Your news is verifiable, as in one family, one roof, one holy nation, just as Gioconda said back then in this time was called the Peace Queen. It was back then in your mind, and as this happy face a new nation could be existing. Love job, David.